Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Rivette, also known as RiRi, and I decided that every week I'm going to be breaking down the top 10 pop culture moments you need to know about. You've probably already seen my short form videos about these topics, but here I'm giving you the real tea, my unfiltered thoughts and opinions. From Alex Cooper shading Alix Earle to Selena and Hailey reigniting their feud, this week was wild. So let's get into it, starting with Alex Cooper. Alex Cooper totally shaded Alix Earle this week, and honestly, I'm not into this at all. It feels like Alex Cooper is trying to compete with Alix Earle when in reality they each have their own lanes, and there's room for both of them to be successful. Alex Cooper used the same song that Alix Earle danced to on Dancing with the Stars in a TikTok post, and in her caption, she totally referenced a previous comment that Alix Earle had made. I'm gonna be honest, it all comes off like she's a little bitter. Just because things didn't work out professionally between Alix Earle and Alex Cooper, it doesn't mean she needs to be throwing shade at her. Both of these women have built huge platforms and they're both wildly successful. Like, Alex, girl, you've already won. Why are you throwing shade? Anyway, speaking of winning, let's talk about someone who literally can't stop winning. Taylor Swift has done it again. Her new album sits at #1 on the Billboard 200 list, and she's claimed the top 12 spots on the Billboard Hot 100 list. Like, how do you even compete with that? You don't. I'm genuinely so happy for her. I truly believe that Taylor Swift is in a league of her own at this point. It must be exhausting to be a Taylor Swift hater because every single time she just continues to win and break her own records. It's also really interesting seeing other artists use Taylor Swift's name for clout because they're releasing new music. She really is the music industry. All right, let's move on to story number 3. The Victoria's Secret fashion show has returned for 2025 and I loved it. People have a lot of opinions. Some people loved the show and some people hated it. A lot of the criticism that I've been seeing online is that people miss the vibe of the Victoria's Secret fashion show from the 2000s, but we simply cannot expect it to look or feel the same. Times have changed and fashion has evolved. Now, yes, it did take Victoria's Secret a long time to get it right in terms of diversity and inclusivity, but at least they're finally making the effort. We're seeing all different types of models now with different backgrounds, and that's something to celebrate. The models looked incredible and the energy was great. My personal favorite was, of course, Jasmine Tookes, who opened the show 9 months pregnant, looking absolutely perfect and just glowing. Women are truly so incredible. And my all-time favorite Victoria's Secret model has always been Candice Swanepoel. I actually teared up seeing her walk the runway. She just looked incredible. Men could never. I do wish that we got more of the behind-the-scenes magic that we used to get during the Victoria's Secret fashion show. You know, seeing them get ready backstage, stylists talking about the design process, the fittings, the glam. It used to make it feel a little more personal. But overall, I think it's a solid comeback, and I really enjoyed the show more this year than I did last year. And I have a feeling next year is going to be even better. I'm excited to see how they keep evolving. Now, staying on the theme of women doing amazing things, let's talk about Taylor Swift again, because she's out here making a real impact. Taylor Swift just donated $100,000 to help a little girl fighting brain cancer. And while most people are praising Taylor, of course there are haters saying, oh, well, that's nothing for her, or it's just a tax write-off. And honestly, that is so unfair. Taylor donates constantly. On the Eras tour alone, she donated to food banks and charities in every single city that she performed in. No matter what Taylor does, people are going to hate on her. Some of you are just determined to be negative. Helping a little girl and her family not have to worry about finances when she is literally fighting for her life? How can you possibly hate on that? If you're really finding a way to criticize that, you might need to take a long look in the mirror, because that's just weird behavior. All right, let's keep it moving. Story number 5 is something that everyone has been talking about this week. Trisha Paytas is officially joining the cast of Euphoria Season 3. And say what you want, but this is such a full circle moment, and I'm so proud of Trisha. She went from being lonely, struggling with addiction, being used by people, and sharing her absolute lowest moments online to this. She's built herself back up, she's happy, she's a mother, and she is literally making her dreams come true. It's honestly inspiring to see, because it really proves that no matter where you start, things can always turn around. And yes, she's had controversies, she is not perfect, but who is? Her growth is so real, and I love seeing people achieve their dreams after such a dark chapter. disaster. It gives everyone a little bit of hope. All right, now let's get into someone who's shutting down some fake news. Last week, a fake quote went viral of Jason Kelce allegedly talking about Bad Bunny performing at the Super Bowl halftime show. In the fake quote, Jason says, "If Bad Bunny is a bad fit for the Super Bowl, then maybe the people making these comments are a bad fit for America." Jason came out and said the tweet is completely fake, which honestly, good for him. But I do wish he went one step further and maybe said something positive about Bad Bunny performing. Because let's be real, a lot of people, mostly conservatives, have been really upset about Bad Bunny performing at the Super Bowl. They've even gone so far as to boycott the Super Bowl. It would have been really great to see someone like Jason, who's highly respected in the football world, say something supportive or even just acknowledge how cool it is to have Bad Bunny performing. But I do understand why he shut down the fake quote, because these things spread like wildfire online. Okay, now let's talk about Alex Cooper. Once again, she interviewed Kim Kardashian this week. In the interview, Alex asks Kim if there was anything that she should have been canceled for but wasn't. Kim says the only thing that might have been a little weird was that when she was around 29 or 30 years old, she did a photo shoot with Justin Bieber and he was only 16. She says Justin is a family friend and it wasn't weird, but looking back, she can see how it was inappropriate. But then Kim says that she hasn't really done anything to get canceled for and asks Alex what she thinks she would have been canceled for. Alex says, "Oh, I can't say it. I don't need a whole nation coming for me." And like, I knew exactly what she meant. She was referencing the Taylor Swift feud with Kim Kardashian. The whole Taylor Nation of it all. Now here's my thing. I don't want to hate on Alex Cooper. I really enjoy some of her content. And I really respect the empire that she's built. But I don't think she's a great interviewer. There were so many moments in that conversation where a real journalist could have asked much deeper questions. And when Kim Kardashian is asking you what you think she might have been canceled for, there are so many ways you could have gone about that. If she didn't want to bring up Taylor Swift at all for fear of getting backlash from the Swifties, I totally understand that. But if that's the case, her comment, "I don't need a whole nation coming for me," should have been left out completely. Alex also could have mentioned Kim's Balenciaga controversy, or the many times she has faced accusations of cultural appropriation. But instead, she just changed the subject. In my opinion, if you're going to sit down with Kim Kardashian, one of the most talked about women in the world, and she's not only asking you, but urging you to tell her what you think she should have been canceled for, at least go there. Don't gloss over everything. Speaking of glossing over things, let's talk about two people who need to stop responding to everything. Okay, so Selena Gomez and Hailey Bieber. Yes, here we are again. Hailey was asked in an interview if she feels competitive now that her brand Rhode Skin is being sold at Sephora. She responded by saying that she doesn't feel competitive with people that she's not inspired by. Fans were quick to think that she was referring to Selena Gomez, saying she's not inspired by her, because Selena Gomez's brand, Rare Beauty, is also sold in Sephora. But a representative for Hailey later told TMZ that she wasn't referring to Selena at all. Selena responded to the situation in an Instagram story, and she deleted it like 1 minute after it was posted. I just wish both of them would stop engaging. I feel like when Hailey is asked certain questions, she kind of knows how the audience is going to react. Even if she wasn't referencing Selena Gomez, that's what fans are going to think. There was a better way to answer that question. And it also gives off a little bit of mean girl energy when you say, "I'm not competitive with people that I'm not inspired by," whether you're talking about Selena Gomez or other brands. And then Selena is always so quick to respond and then delete her response right away. I think it just adds fuel to the fire. Like, girl, you just got married. You're a billionaire. You are so successful. There's no need to respond. I wish both of them would just stop engaging, but I do understand that it's hard to with so much public opinion. All right, let's move on. There's only a few more stories left. Okay, I love this one. Taylor Swift basically helped raise over $2 million for sea otters just by wearing a t-shirt. She wore a Monterey Bay Aquarium sea otter shirt during the Life of a Showgirl movie, and Swifties completely flooded the aquarium's website. Since then, the aquarium has re-released the t-shirts, turning it into a huge fundraiser for sea otters. I mean, it's just amazing the power that this woman has. She can literally raise millions of dollars for sea otters without even trying. Whether it was intentional or not, she's using her influence for good, and that is beautiful to see. In much heavier news, a private investigator was hired in the Celeste Rivas death investigation. The homeowner of the house that the singer David was staying in has hired a PI because he has no answers from the LAPD, and he wants to find out if anything happened inside of his home. The LAPD has not made any arrests or named suspects in the case just yet because they don't have any hard evidence. The details are still unfolding, but it's just such a sad and scary situation. The investigator that the homeowner hired did an interview with the Law and Crime Network on YouTube, where he says he believes there were some dark and sadistic plans to get rid of Celeste Rivas' corpse, which is absolutely horrifying if true. I know the general public wants answers, but right now all we can do is wait and let the investigation play out. And we have to remember that Celeste was a real person, just 14 years old, who lost her life way too young. And I'm going to do a bonus story so we can end on a little bit of a lighter note. OG beauty YouTuber Carli Bybel and Brett Cap are back together. If you've been around for a while, you may remember that Carli and Brett dated way back when and broke up years ago. Carli went on to date someone else, she had a baby, but they broke up. And Brett was featured on season 8 of Vanderpump Rules. My jaw dropped when they announced that they are back together. They were always one of my favorite YouTube couples from back in the day. I think it is so sweet, and it just goes to show that if someone is meant to be in your life, you'll find your way back to each other. Sometimes after you've both grown and healed. But let me be clear, this is not your sign to text your ex. Carli and Brett are the exception, not the rule. And that wraps up this week's top pop culture stories and my opinions on them. Let me know in the comments which one shocked you the most and if you agree with any of my opinions, or respectfully disagree. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because I plan on doing this every single week, breaking down the biggest pop culture moments and giving you my unfiltered thoughts and opinions. Once again, I'm Rivette, also known as Riri. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in next week's video. Mwah.